name is Mario Gomez. I have 23 years on the job. Currently, I hold the rank of sergeant. With the way the city was going through the years, it looked very, that the city was going to die, you know. Downtown even looked bad. They brought the stadiums in, which was, you know, they brought in Tiger Stadium, Comerica Park. I call it Tiger Stadium because that's when I used to go to as a kid. But Comerica Park kind of started everything, and the city started slowly rebuilding. Again, you know, I had transferred out, and I came back to Southwest after I left 39s, went back to Southwest Detroit, and I didn't spend much time downtown, and that within, I felt like it was overnight, but really it was probably about 5 years. Dramatically, the face of Detroit changed. They built LCA, they built a lot of the vacant buildings they had there, they turned them into shops, bakeries, coffee shops, Whole Foods, right? And then they started redoing some of the homes over there off of Woodward, just east of Woodward, and Mac. Incredible. I'm so happy, right? I'm happy the city's starting to come back, and it looks like a real city now. And I'm proud to be on the department through those changes, you know, because when I came on, everybody, you know, a lot of the older guys would tell me, hey, get your training and get out of here. Go to the suburbs. Get out of the city's dying. The city's dying. And it was kind of hard to dispute that when we were going to 3-4 fires a day, right? And I tell people that, you know, about how many fires we used to get. It feels like a dream. When I talk to the young guys today, you know, where we get like maybe one fire now, maybe 2 fires a month in some places. It's like almost like it didn't happen. And when I talk with some of the guys about it, some guys I came on with, the guys I went to those fires with, it's almost unbelievable. Day in, day out, sleepless nights, you know. But yeah.
Do you think the young guys are going to be the same firefighters that your generation was because of that lack of experience?
Well, you know, our young guys have a different job. They're coming on to a different job today because of the medical side. You know, in 2014 we began the first responder program. In fact, I was on the first company, Engine 39. We were the very first company in the city to get the MFR training and to start the MFR runs. And from that day we started, it was a whole new, the department was reborn, I think, going to these medical calls. Because what it did was it opened the eyes up of firefighters. Before, you know, we really responded to medical calls when the medics called us for lift assist or like car accidents. And even then, we didn't get involved with the medical side, patient care, things of that nature. But when we began the MFR, we really got hands-on. We were there first. We were doing CPR first. We were plugging the holes, you know, the gunshot wounds, wrapping, you know, splinting the broken legs and things of that nature before the medics got there, because at that time we were very short on ambulances, and then, you know, the runs we had more runs than we had ambulances, you know, but we had more fire engines than we did ambulance, so we were there for a while sometimes. It made for a very uncomfortable waiting period, you know, looking for the ambulances. We're doing CPR on a family member, and you know, that was tough. That's tough to tell somebody, you know, they're coming, you know, and that was no fun. That's no fun. So that changed a lot of guys' perspectives on what EMS side was. And so the new firefighters coming in with this dual role where they're 12 hours they're firefighters, 12 hours they're on the ambulance. And what I mean by that, they're firefighters, but they're assigned to an ambulance for 12 hours only. So if a medical call or if a fire comes in, they'll respond to that fire and just provide medical care. They won't put their gear on or anything. they kind of stand by and they make sure that they'll provide medical care if needed for an injured civilian or an injured firefighter. Whereas their second half of their shift, or their first half, because they alternate the days, working 2 days. We work 2 days a week, 24-hour shifts. So one day they're in the morning, they're on the ambulance, and then the next day they're on the engine in the morning. So they flip-flop their days.
How do they like that?
Well, they don't like it. And they want to be firemen. They want to go to all the fires. They want to get the excitement. They want to go to the calls. The ambulance, it wears on them. It really does. It wore on the medics prior to us crossing over. I mean, I think the lifespan of an EMT here in the city of Detroit was average, like 3-4 years, and then they would quit. But there were some that held on, and then some now they're crossed over. And from my understanding, I talk to them, I ask them all the time, I said, especially the ones that have been on for 19 years, and then they cross over to fireside. I just talked to a guy yesterday. He enjoys it. He enjoys, he really enjoys doing both jobs. They changed our job on us in 2014. They just said, basically, they said, oh no, bankruptcy came. And they stripped a lot of things from us. And they said, well, if you want a job, this is what it is now. To the emergency manager, they took a lot from us. Which they promised healthcare. Healthcare is a big thing. Our pension, they attacked our pension. Actually, they stopped contributing to our old pension, our police and fire pension, and they put us in this new hybrid pension, which doesn't look great on paper, and it looks even worse when you get your final payout for it, because now we get 2 pensions, depending on how long the old pension, they call it the old pension, versus the new pension. We had no choice with that. And that was all part of the negotiations that they did with the city, and basically strong-arm our union into, like, look, this is the way it is, and this is the way it's going to, go down. And a guy like me, I was stuck in the middle. I was like, 40 years old, and, no one's going to, and I didn't have a, EMT license at the time. I do now. And I had all this firefighting experience. Suburbs, they require you to be paramedic. So I was kind of stuck where I was at. I had like 14 years on the job. I was vested. And I still had my whole career ahead of me, And to make the decision to leave the department and go to a different department, it was a big move that I couldn't do. So I had to stay and ride it out. Thankfully, with the city coming back, and our union, who's fought very hard, tooth and nail, to get back some of the benefits that we lost. That's one thing I can say about the department, the change, right? We ended up with this bankruptcy that was awful. Everyone took huge hits, and we lost a lot. Our healthcare was, attacked. Our pensions were attacked. A lot of the benefits that we had that made the job, tolerable, because we didn't have the high pay rate, but we had these great benefits. They took those all away. They're slowly starting to come back today. Our pay raises are coming back. And today the firefighters, the new firefighters, like when we talk about the new firefighters, they are making way more money than I did when I came on, which is great. I want these young guys, this is, I used to hear this all the time, this is the young man's job, right? But the young man was never compensated the way he should be for all the hard work that he had to put in. But on the back end, as officers, that's where we recouped, where we put the hard work in our seniority system, where we got a good pension, livable pension, and benefits that we worked so hard for all those years. And then they attacked that system, and they took that all away. They took our health care, they took our pension. So a lot of the retirees, A, had to stick around longer, work longer than they'd like, and B, they had to pay out from some of their annuities their deferred income stuff they were saving up for their families, they have to now use for health care to provide for themselves as they get sick. As we get older, guys, you know, from my understanding, it's costing like $12,000 a year for health care. And these guys are getting cancer, they're dying, you know. We sacrifice our bodies, you know, in service of the city, and we know this, right? I know this. But, you know, we promised that we were going to be taken care of after we took care of the city for all these years. Regardless if we didn't live in the city. I'm from the city. I don't live in the city anymore, but my family, you know, was from the city. We helped build this city. And I still have family members in the city. And I'm proud to be from Detroit, you know, born in Southwest Detroit. And I'm proud to be from the city, and I'm proud to work here. But what I'm not happy about is that, you know, these things were stripped away because of the bankruptcy. And I feel like it was done unfairly, you know, unjust.
So the older guys, the retirees, can't get anything back, the health care?
So the health care, no, they were just stripped of the health care. At 65, Medicaid picks you up. So that's what the city, well, the thing is that we have to retire at 60. So we have that 5-year gap where we have to use our own money for our health care until Medicaid picks us up. But in that 5 years, usually when we leave is when we need our health care the most. And in many instances, not some, many instances, the guys are sick, they end up getting cancer, or they end up just needing hip replacements, or, you know, years of the abuse from this job. They need medication, they need, you know, more medical treatment than, say, an average person, you know, in the workforce after they retire. And they'll hang around longer here in the department as well, so that they don't have to pay as long, but they have their time in to retire. They have 30, 35 years plus, but yet they're still, you know, 57. So they'll end up having to pay for their own health care for 8 years. So they stay till 60, longer than what they anticipated. But like I said before, they are slowly returning, you know, with our contract negotiations with our union. They're fighting to get us these benefits that we lost. So we are getting better pay. We have increased our, you know, we got a better work schedule now. We work less hours, which, you know, was beneficial if we want to take days off, rest our bodies, get our sleep pattern back normal, you know, back to a normal, somewhat of a normal schedule, I should say. I've been fortunate enough to kind of be in different parts of the city through the changes. I came out, I was in Southwest Detroit. I started at Agent Company 37, 2001. And at that time, Southwest Detroit was viable. There were a lot of people. It was highly populated. In 2005, they closed it, and I got transferred downtown to Cass Corridor, Engine 5. I was there for a year and a half. At that time, the Cass Corridor was very vacant. There was nothing going on. There was a lot of drugs, a lot of poverty. It looked very, very run down, to say the least. Where today, the change is like night and day. When I go down there, I don't even recognize it. I feel like I'm in a different city. But that's how it is today. I also went to Engine 39 after I left, and that was, you know, in the Boston Edison district. That was a kind of a unique area to be in, because some areas were really historical looking with the homes and stuff, very well kept, and yet the next block over there were a ton of vacant homes, and we'd have a lot of fires over there. And I just thought, man, these beautiful homes were being burnt down. Whereas today, they're being restored, they're being rebuilt, the neighborhoods are, you know, are